Well, I'm inclined to agree with you guys that I would fuck the police here. Okay. Anyways, welcome. It's C. We're gonna be talking about why Zhu Yuan is a must-play character in Zenless Zone Zero. But guys, before we start, okay, this is actually pitiful that I have to I have to show you guys this. Okay, only 0.3% people are subscribed. This is some shit, guys. Please, I beg of you. Okay, anyways, let's go. First of all, let's start with our general character archetype. So she's an ether DPS, right? Only one of her kind currently, just like Ellen, our first limited banner. So why is that important? She is a ether DPS, and that is important because a lot of enemies are weak to ether, and she's the only one that can capitalize on that, right? So she needs to be paired with Nicole, and they both have ether damage, and we can get a huge damage bonus because they're weak to ether, right? And another part of what makes Zhu Yuan very good is that she is very easy to pair with any future supports, right? Most characters need a element and or a faction to activate their core passives to get their full potential out of the kit, right? Zhu Yuan only needs the same faction or a support. So in this case, we have Nicole as a support for her, right? And eventually, maybe in the future, there's a better ether support that's not a 4-star, right? Or maybe like it doesn't have to be an ether support. That's the beauty in Zhu Yuan, right? It can be any element you want, and then it can still activate Zhu Yuan's part, and then we just have to find out how we're gonna activate the support and the stunners part of their kit, right? So it makes her very easy to slot into teams, like a conventional DPS, stunner, and buffer team, right? Which is what she wants to be played in. Apart from that, Zhu Yuan actually has an extremely fun and engaging kit. So what I mean by that is if you invest a lot of time into her kit, you will actually get higher numbers and higher DPS compared to if you were just button mashing and being brain dead, right? Every character is like this to an extent, right? But Zhu Yuan especially, right? Especially, I think so. So after we're done with just a general discussion with no mechanics, let's go into her kit with mechanics involved. So her main mechanic, like most characters, is on the top left, is an ammo system that she uses to unleash her enhanced ether shells, right? These enhanced ether shells are extremely powerful, and compared to her normal physical attacks are way more powerful, right? Way more powerful. So first of all, she is a burst-oriented character because she needs to build up these shells and unload them in a rapid burst, right? So it makes her a very bursty character. Let's go a little bit more in depth with her ammo, right? So her ammo, how it works is some actions that she does gives her shells back or ammo back for how I'm calling it. Okay, she gets ammo back from doing certain actions, but if you hold down left click, you go into this mode called suppress fire mode or suppressive mode. Okay, and you unload all of your shells onto the enemy and does a lot of fucking damage. And during this, you can dodge, and when you're dodging, you actually still shoot. So like she can be extremely aggressive while still dodging all of the attacks if you play correctly, right? So she is pretty much 100% uptime because she has range, right? And then she can play extremely aggressively from range. That's pretty much an easy explanation of her full kit, right? I'll probably release a new video when I do end up getting Zhu Yuan because I have her guaranteed with 160 pulls, okay? So I do have her guaranteed, and when I get her, I will make another video on her combos and the most optimal things to do with her. Right, and let's get into an easy build for Zhu Yuan, okay? An easy build for Zhu Yuan is obviously you go for, I think it's called the Chaos Metal. I could be wrong. It's something like that, right? It's the one with the ether damage, right? The ether DPS disc. You want a 4-piece of that, and you want a 2-piece woodpecker normally. If you don't want to use woodpecker or you just don't have any good ones, you could use puffer fish, puffer electro. If you want to use that, that is fine too, I guess. But the best setup is gonna be ether disc and woodpecker disc. Okay, and on disc 4, we want crit damage or crit rate, just any crit stat, right? if you're pressed to find any crit parts at all, you can just do either or. But I'd recommend you look at your stats first to see if you want crit damage or crit rate before you choose, right? If you have the choice. And disc 5 should preferably be ether damage, but attack is also not terrible on it. There is actually a math here why you want elemental damage bonus instead of an attack bonus, okay? I'll make another video on that if you guys are interested, but for now, just trust me, ether damage is better than attack, but attack is okay if that's all you have. Okay, because disc 5 is kind of hard to roll. Disc 6 should be flat attack for maximum damage output. Okay, it should just be attack percent. That's the only offensive stat in that category. And after that, after the build, we're going to be talking about the W engine. Obviously, with all characters, her signature W engine is going to be the most suitable and fitting for her as a character to use, right? But not everyone's going to pull for weapon, and I even say like most people won't pull for a W engine because, you know, it's a gacha game and the content is characters, so people want to save their money for maybe Jane Doe or like other characters, right? So I understand, which is why I have other options, right? If you guys happen to miss on Ellen or something, and you got maybe the Brimstone engine for Soldier 11, and maybe you don't even have Soldier 11, and you're like mad, and like, dude, I have this fucking W engine, but I don't even have the character. Well, don't worry, okay? If you're gonna pull for Zhu Yuan, Brimstone is a very close second. Brimstone is just a very, very good W engine to give your carries because of just how much raw stat it gives, right? It's a 5-star attack base stat, and an attack substat, and an attack passive, okay? It's just so much attack. Brimstone is quite close to how you will perform with her signature, okay? So if you do have Brimstone, you're pretty much set. I wouldn't recommend you pulling for the weapon unless you want to see her hair glow, okay? Which is, I guess, is understandable if you got that money, right? And now the important part here is the 4-star engines, right? I'm already hearing you guys talk about, you know, well, what's the 4-star engine I should use? Okay, that's what I'm concerned about. So 4-star engine, pretty simple, okay? Just the big three, okay? Big three, and we already know who's on top. Obviously, it's gonna be Starlight engine, okay? This thing's pretty fucking ridiculous for a 4-star. It just has so much. It's just a stat stick, right? Especially because you want to run Zhu Yuan with a support, and Nicole is a support, triggers so many follow-up attacks, like a switch-in attack, right? So you're basically always gonna have this damage bonus on Star Engine up. So it's just a lot of attack actually. So it is not to the performance of the 5-star engines, of course, but it's okay and usable to a certain extent, right? It's only like a 10% difference at max. Okay. And if you don't have the Star engine, well, you can just make one, but for some reason, if you don't want to use a Star engine, right, you can use Street Superstar for the Big Burst Ultimate. I don't recommend this personally, or you can go for Battle Pass engine, the Cannon Rotor, okay? I don't recommend neither of these, okay? They're maybe like a 10% down even from Starlight engine, okay? If you have the Starlight engine, please just give it to her, okay? Just give her the Starlight engine. I promise you it will make your life way, way better, okay? That's about it, okay? I didn't want to make this video super long like my other videos, right? Because I need to test the character myself to have confidence to spit more shit at you, right? So we're just gonna end it here, and I hope you guys get Zhu Yuan if you're pulling. I'm going to fuck the police now. Goodbye.